how many night owls we got. I had a great time at the stream that occurred 12 hours ago, my 1 p.m. live stream. Talked about everything I have coming up, which I can't wait for. But this 1 a.m. stream, it's more of just a hangout stream, just a chat stream. However, I am going to be reminding people about all the exciting things I have coming up shortly, really all starting next week. So it was amazing yesterday's, I guess 24 hours ago, the live stream, just how many people we got at 1 a.m. Way too many night owls out there just like me. So I'm going to put this poll question in. Let's see who we get. Ryan, looks like you're like me and you are staying up late. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Very soon. I guess today, technically, in like what, 10 hours, 9 hours? 9 hours, I guess, at the coffee club. By the way, tomorrow at coffee club or today at coffee club, I don't know what day it is. At some point, I understand a friend Gene is going to be bringing some of his artwork to show off. We'll have a new artist in town. Actually, he's an author, and I've had on the podcast. He has displayed some of his books in the coffee club in the past, but tomorrow he will be bringing some of his artwork to show off. So I think he's going to be there on 10 o'clock because we have the artist whose work is currently there. She's going to be picking her stuff up, and we'll have a new artwork to display, which is something I've always suggested to Masonic buildings to consider. If you have any type of floor space or shouldn't say floor space, wall space available, shelf space, anything that is not being used, invite local artists to display their artwork on the walls so they can check it out, and you can support local artists, give the Masons something cool to look at. That's also a good idea, I think, for churches to consider. If they have spaces on their walls or shelves in common areas, open it up to the public or to local artists to display their work. A lot of artists are really in desperate need of display space and display opportunities. What's going on? Johnny Rockwell, thank you for being here. Brother Courtney, thank you for being here as well. Mr. Keeps on Ticking, welcome also. By the way, we will be having the 1 p.m. stream tomorrow, I do believe, but it should be pretty, I think, relatively quick. And no 1 a.m. stream. The next big thing we got is on Saturday at 12 p.m., which I'll talk about later. But first, let's just see who jumps on the chat to say hello. We had a great stream yesterday, like I was saying, really well attended. And let's see who finds us tonight. Before I get started talking about any of these specific things, I want to, like I said, going through the list of things. But so far we've got 4 votes, 4 yeses. So awesome. We got 4 people, at least I know, will be joining me for the 21st 24-hour live stream. Obviously, like I was saying before, I don't expect people to be up with me for the whole 24 hours. That would be crazy. I'd be very impressed if you did, but I don't expect you to be on with me for the whole 24 hours. Rather, I expect you to just hang out with me for whatever times that you can. I'm going to be showing off my Masonic pins, coins, paint. Like, I have a ton of Masonic memorabilia. Pins and coins are the 2 most common, but I have my jewels, I have my rings, I have my cards. I have a lot of really, really cool stuff. I've been to Hollywood, Ryan. I've been to Hollywood, Los Angeles, about 5 years ago, and it was absolutely incredible. Without a doubt, it was one of my most favorite experiences getting to visit Hollywood. I went to all the different locations where they filmed A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 and A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. I've yet to have any stars on my stream, but I really want to get Johnny Depp on because I want him to talk about From Hell, that movie. And but I don't know. I think he's a little bit too busy and too big to be on my podcast right now. But maybe I'll grow, just like you say, Ryan. One day, maybe one day I will, which would be awesome. Beyond that, I'd love to get Brad Paisley on the stream because he is, a pretty huge singer, and he's going to be in London soon. Let me get the date and time of his concert and the location, because London's about 2 hours from here. Thank you. I believe that he will have to pass through Toronto, or sorry, I believe he'll have to pass through Windsor to get to London. I'd love it if he could stop on our way, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get so lucky. I've always tried and never had any luck so far. So, sorry, not October, December. December 11th, he will be in London, Ontario at Canada Life Palace. He'll be in Winnipeg November 14th. My dad was on. Welcome, Z. Yes, he is. Beyond that, the closest he'll be is like Canfield, Ohio. London, though, is December 11th. In case anybody's curious, tickets through Ticketmaster are $71 at the cheapest. Usually it's cheaper at Caesars than it is here. He's talked about being a Freemason on a few of his podcasts to his credit. So, I remember I tried joining the Paisley Nation to see if I could contact him. So far, not a ton of luck, but it's my goal. I always check Caesars Windsor as well. Brad Paisley, he's a country singer. He's a Shriner. He's a Mason. He joined the Shrine as well. There's a few pictures of him with his fez on. I've always, because he's done a few shows here in Windsor, and whenever he comes, I always try to invite him to the Masonic Temple to get in touch with like his management. So far, no luck, but I've always, I'm hoping I'll be able to get him to join sooner rather than later. I mean, not join, but attend one of our Masonic meetings or do something at the Masonic Temple. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, could you imagine having him perform at the Masonic Temple? How incredible that would be. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I'd love to try. Or I am trying, put it that way. I am trying. In terms of at the Caesars Windsor Casino coming up, they've got Sarah McLachlan on October 25th. That is my goal. I want to go to that show because I'm a huge Sarah McLachlan fan. I've got a really cool Sarah McLachlan story, which I should probably share during the stream at some point because she is awesome. But coming up sooner, we've got Old Dominion on August 29th. That seems kind of cool. So yeah, Caesars Windsor, always doing some good stuff. It's not like Scientology. No, it's not. Freemasonry and Scientology are not the same thing, despite what people sometimes think about it. Hello, Gabe Owens. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll hit that like and subscribe button, Gabe. Let me know if you have any questions about Freemasonry or any thoughts. That's what we do on this stream. These 1 a.m. streams are just hangout and chill streams. The 1 p.m. streams is usually when I have more specific content. So I will go over, once again, everything I've got coming up that I'm really excited for and want to get people joining me for. At Caesars, I've been lucky. I've been to a lot more shows recently at Caesars Windsor, and it has been absolutely incredible. I've loved it. So yeah, so I'm really enjoying Caesars Windsor as well and all the shows. It is, I love Caesars. They got great coffee, free coffee. Also, the third major employer in Windsor, to my knowledge. So, What about you, Mr. Keeps on Ticking? What is your favorite? Do you have like a favorite band? I forget if I asked you that before. Most people on this stream know mine as being Leonard Skinnard with Simple Man. I think Simple Man is my favorite song in the whole world. I also really love Prodigal by Blacktop Mojo. Ryan McKee, that is a very, very respectable choice. I gotta respect that one. I think, yeah, I think Foo Fighters are one of the best. Welcome, you're just joining us. Jump in the chat, say hello. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, as well as anything else you want to talk about. This is our Hangout stream. I am going to be using this time Miles Kennedy's The Bomb. I used to really like one of his songs. I can't think of the name of it now. Going to be talking about what I have coming up, what I'm excited for, and what I'm hoping that you guys can join me for and support, as well as just things I want to give shout outs to and congratulations to. Miles Kennedy was part of, he did the theme song for Edge. What's the name of the band? Now this is driving me crazy. Now I'm looking it up because I really want to know. Alter Bridge. Alter Bridge. They did this song, Who Is Gonna Save You When I'm Gone, I think is what it's called, which is really, really good. Alter Bridge did the theme song also for Edge. Metalingus. Oh, he is. He's one of the best. His songs are pretty incredible. I will take Alice in Chains, his 1987. That's a great band. There's nothing wrong with that at all, as a band, as far as bands go. So yeah, I support that 100%. I think Alter Bridge, or Alice in Chains, excuse me, is awesome. We're just going to give it a little bit more time. We're going to see who jumps on and who says hello and anything that they want to talk about. This is going to be a shorter stream. I think, though, I had a great time, as always, on these streams. We've got 8 votes right now. Will you join us for our August 21st, 2025 24-hour live stream? 8 votes. Looks like 7 yes and 1 no. So I'll take it. Yes, I got my pop. My pop tonight. It'll be back to coffee tomorrow. Don't worry. I feel it, dog eat dog. I feel it. I once heard Nirvana referred to as classic rock, and I felt like I just turned a million years old. And Alice in Chains came on later than, was later than Alice in Chains, right? So, or around the same time, right? But if Nirvana is called classic rock, then I am old. You never heard of Nirvana, or you never heard of Alice in Chains, Ryan? You must have heard of Nirvana. Alice in Chains, they did. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of the names of their songs now. They did this great MTV Unplugged, which if you get the chance, Down a Whole Nutshell is kind of their most famous song, right? If you get the chance, you should check out MTV Unplugged Alice in Chains. It's pretty incredible. They were also in the Clerks soundtrack. Um, the original Clerks, you know, Jane, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, as well. So I've never heard of Sludge Factory. That's one I've never heard of. What type of stuff do they do? I support that. I support that 100%. And I would agree with you. By the way, I just watched tonight the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth. Really good show. Reminded me a lot of Dead Space. So, the video game. So if you get the chance, check that out. Believe me, it's worth it. It was awesome. Oh, so I don't know this song Sledge Factory. I know like all the classic hits, right? Nutshell, I think is the best one, but I'd like the one on Clerks as well. Um, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. It was Got Me Wrong. I think it was a song when Randall like first came walking into the store after showing up late. If you're not seeing Clerks, check out the View universe. Yes, Got Me Wrong, which is a great song. Check out the View universe. Believe me, it'll be worth it. We should do a poll. What is your favorite View character? Mine would be from Mallrats. It would be the character played by Jason Lee, whose name I cannot remember now. He was awesome. Yes, maybe that was the song Soul Asylum. That was where they played Hockey on the Roof, right? Can't Even Tell. That was a great music video. I remember that one now, Dog Eat Dog. That was an absolute banger of a music video, which was on the DVD special features for Clerks. And like Kevin Smith did a little intro. It's why I go back to this idea of, why I love physical media. One of the reasons is you get all these special features all in one disc. You know, you can put special features up on like Netflix, but you have to search for them, scroll for them. You pop in your DVD, you just get them all at the same time. You know, there's something beautiful about a DVD loading screen, in my humble opinion. I don't even know what half of those are, Mr. Keeps on Ticking. I know the Offspring. I know Disturbed. They did a great cover of what was the cover they did on Conan? Um, Sound of Silence. They did a great Sound of Silence cover. I don't recognize Ensemble Organum, but I should check that out. Oh, I love Clerks. For a time, Dog Eat, so everybody knows because I always talk about it, right? My favorite genre of movie is horror, particularly slashers. My second favorite is Hallmark Christmas movies, because I'm a big nerd or my big softie. But I do really, really, one of the few like comedy, um, kind of comedy franchises that made their way into my regular rotation and things I loved was the View Askewiverse. So, I did Dog Eat Dog. I saw Clerks. So I mean, I've seen them all. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I teared up a little bit watching Clerks 3. I had a few tears at the end of it. I don't want to spoil it, but it was, I thought, a pretty good ending. Very kind of heartfelt. I think if I had to rank them, because why not? I think Mallrats is my favorite. Then I really enjoyed Clerks. I love Chasing Amy. I don't know, I like them all. They all have a certain kind of place in my heart. Not a huge fan of The Hangover. I saw it. I think I saw it in theaters actually. Me and a group of friends went. I'm just not a comedy guy as a general rule. I didn't mind it though. I mean, it had a few laugh moments. Um, I agree. Clerks 1 through 3 was awesome. I don't believe View Askew and I don't know. I just never was a huge comedy fan. Like I said, there were parts I enjoyed though of those movies, but it's not something I there I smirked a few. Even when I do enjoy comedy, I tend to enjoy comedy that comes in other genres as opposed to comedy in like comedy movies. Couple exceptions. I just rewatched Dodgeball, and that really made me laugh. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. That got me. So I am doing well, Jordan. How are you doing? Don't forget to hit that like button. And I hope that you are doing well. I heard there's supposed to be a Mallrats 2. I haven't seen it or heard if it's actually in production, but I really want there to be a Mallrats 2, because I loved Mallrats 2. I did like Interstellar. Interstellar was good. I liked what it touched on. Um, okay. Smith confirmed Mallrats 2 was being written and was slated to begin in May of 2016. In January 2020, Smith announced Mallrats. So I'm waiting for Mallrats. I know Dog Eat Dog because I've been hearing about it for years, and I would love to see it. I think Mallrats did not get near the love it deserved um, when it first came out, but it became like a really good. It became like a cult film, right? It kind of found its niche on DVD, which is why again I say DVD is so important. It allows movies. It gives movies a second life they don't often get. Oh, geez. Did you make it to the dentist at least? I hope you did. I'm not gonna lie, people who know me will not find this shocking, but I am not very good at like taking care of myself. I try to exercise regularly. I, go to my doctors regularly, vaccinations, all that jazz, but I'm not very good at like eating well, and I'm not the best at like personal hygiene stuff. I'm kind of super lazy about taking care of myself. But I've been making a real effort now to like go to the dentist regularly, along with like eating better, drinking water, all those things. For me, my where I best took care of myself is always exercising regularly. That's something I've always done. Beyond that, I was not the best at it, but I'm getting better. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Oh, I'm sorry, Jordan. I hope that maybe you got some dentures. I know that can happen. There are people who, like I said, when you suffer from depression, self-care can be really hard. That can include care for like dental care, and then teeth can get worse and worse. But I hope that you're doing better and you're not as depressed, Jordan. Random hologram. Hello again to you as well. Please hit that like button. Oh, I'm very smelly. I am very smelly, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. I've always just been super lazy about that stuff. But I've been trying my best. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I'm getting a lot better. I've just always been super absent-minded, um, about that stuff. But my view on it is, you know what? Steve Jobs famously smelled terrible and had terrible hygiene for most of his life. And look what he did. So if he can do those things, then I can do well too. Well, maybe if I ate ranch, I wouldn't smell so bad. Who knows? But I'm getting better at it. I'm proud to say I've put a really a big effort into the last probably 6 months to a year to actually focus on personal care beyond just working out. I shouldn't say just because it matters, but beyond working out and doctors and medications and vaccines and that type of thing. Actually trying to eat better, drink more water, et cetera, et cetera. Even though I'm still drinking coffee all the time, I try to balance it out with more water. Steve Jobs is great. I love Steve Jobs. I loved his biography. One of my movies, again, it's not in my normal genre, but I loved the Steve Jobs movie. Um, That's a good question, Jordan. I try to motivate myself by thinking about how, you know, how many, like, I view myself as being part of team humanity. And being part of team humanity, I have a responsibility to care for myself so that I'm then either not taking resources away from others and also can contribute more. So, for example, taking care of my teeth, the reason why, I should do that is because if I get a bunch of cavities, um, suddenly I need dental care, which means that's one dentist that has to work on me that can't work on other people. It takes resources away. And also, if I have a toothache or bad breath or whatever it is, I'm going to be focused on that and not focused on helping the people around me, and not focused on Freemasonry. So it's the same reason why, like, if I'm on a football team, I keep myself physically fit, so I can contribute to the team. If Because I'm alive and therefore part of team humanity, I need to keep myself healthy and care for myself so I can contribute as much as possible to the team. Um, so that's how I motivate myself. I remind myself that I don't belong fully to myself. I don't even belong mostly to myself. I belong to the world in which I find myself. I'm not saying I'm perfect, by the way, brother Courtney. I'm not saying I'm perfect, by the way, but I am trying my best to be better. Um, but like I said, I know that probably Mr. Keeps would disagree with me, but I don't believe that we as people belong fully to ourselves. I think we belong to the community as much as to ourselves. And therefore, we have a responsibility to the community to care for this. You could even argue in some ways we belong to the Supreme Being. He gave us something and we should be respectful of it. He gave us a life and we should be respectful of it. You'd have to ask the individual Masons, dog eat dog. Um, so there's about 850,000 Freemasons in the States. You'd have to ask each one of them. I know plenty of Masons who consume cannabis, smoke cannabis, pick the way you want to describe it, or edibles or whatever it is. Sometimes they do so as prescribed by a doctor for pain management. Sometimes they just do so as recreation, same way some people would have a drink. I mean, I personally don't drink or consume cannabis or anything like that. I've smoked every now and then, but that's like cigarettes, but that's about it. But no, no, like I said, I've known many Freemasons who consume cannabis. So it feels like a lot of them actually are a little bit older and are doing it for like pain medication. They got prescriptions by the doctor. A lot of them are doing it through edibles, but I'm not a fan of it myself. I've never done it, I should say. But as a rule, my drug of choice is caffeine, pop, coffee. Beyond that, I tend to stay away from the rest of it. Um, he was a Mason, George Washington, but I did not know that. I like that rhyme. If I could modify it a little bit, what I would say is contribute to a dream stone by stone, or contribute to a dream brick by brick in honor of our Masonic heritage. We'll use stone or brick as our metaphor. But it's a very good piece of advice. I guess that's a good point, Jordan. When I say, I have used, I've never been on any strong pain medication, though, certainly. Outside of, like Tylenol for headaches or Advil for headaches, or for a toothache once. I've never had a surgery or any severe injury where I've needed, say, like morphine or anything more severe. Having said that, um, what's the word? Advil, Tylenol, those are substances as well. You have to keep that in mind. It is good for your kidneys, at least so I'm told. Always check with your doctor. No alcohol or anything else. No, not for me. Um, yeah, that's a cool. I knew he used hemp. as a lot of people did back in the day. It was used for ship's ropes. So John Paul Jones, another famous Mason, would have been very would have had a lot of experience, or would have had a lot of familiarity with hemp rope for boats and things like that. Well, Carl, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you're doing okay, and I hope that you get help if you need it. Will you join us for August 21st, 2025, 24-hour live stream starting 2 p.m.? Yes, 90%, no, 10%. So we are doing pretty well in terms of that. I will take 9. It's going to be a fun 24-hour live stream. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm going to go through all of my different Masonic items, memorabilia, coins, pins. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm also going to talk about ways to display those things, why you should keep them, why lodges should have them. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Ways to insure them, ways to display them at the lodge level, what to do with them when you are having your last will and testament, how to mention these things, because it's important to keep in mind how we can mention them and what we can talk about with them. So yeah. Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. I like Rick and Morty. It's a funny. I haven't seen episodes forever. Jordan, I'm glad I wasn't addicted either. I've seen people with addictions, and I used to work in a jail and probation office. Addiction was kind of a part of my career, unfortunately. Seeing people suffering from it, yeah, it really does suck. So I'm also very grateful I never got addicted to it. I think somebody way above asked me what my opinion is on Israel and Gaza, which is quite a fun conversation to be having. I speak exclusively for myself when I give this opinion, so this is not a Masonic opinion. I am a member of Lodge Holy Land number 50, which is out of Tel Aviv. And I'm a proud member of a Masonic lodge in Israel. I would consider myself a Zionist in that I think the state of Israel should exist. I also believe there should be a Palestinian state that is controlled by the Palestinians fully. That means, and that includes, they have control of the airspace, the ports, electricity. It is a fully autonomous state. And I think what's happening right now is monstrous. I really do, and I think I don't like to use the word genocide because that's a legal term and it has legal connotations, but I think it's monstrous. I think it's horrible. I think what is happening in Palestine, not the people of Israel, I don't blame the people for the actions of a government, but what the government is doing in Gaza and the West Bank, for that matter, is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Well, I don't know because Zionism has different terms, Jordan. So I'm hesitant if that's true or not. Like, to me, at its core, Zionism simply means the belief that there should be a Jewish homeland somewhere. I think even for a time, there was consideration of making the Jewish homeland, like making Israel in South America. And I think even places in Africa were considered before they settled on the Middle East. And so, if you define Zionism as just the belief that there should be a state of Israel somewhere in the world, then, I would be a Zionist, right? Anybody who believes in a two-state solution would probably be a Zionist, right? There are some who do have more of that view, and they take it as like a religious fundamentalist view that there should be, end times prophecies and stuff like that. But I think that's one type of Zionism. That's certainly not the type I would ascribe to. Well, 1948 is where when it was established. But like as an idea, it dates what to the Balfour Declaration of 1927, I think, um, or or I think the Balfour Declaration was 1927, if I recall correctly. Well, everybody needs to follow the rules, right? That's kind of the point of law. And I know I've been lucky enough to know many. Well, I've known many Jewish people. Actually, a really good, one of my best friends in school, in law school, and roommate was Jewish, and he was a really, really cool dude. He actually taught me because, he would light the candles for Hanukkah, and he kind of taught me a little bit about what it was and the story behind it and kind of the traditions behind it. So I would disagree with that statement, Jordan. As I saw him every day for about 3 years during school, and when we were roommates, every several hours every day. Nothing about him ever struck me as being off. He was just a really good dude, as of all the Jewish people I've known. Right? Well, I shouldn't say that. I've known some a-holes, but I've known some a-holes who are Muslim, some a-holes who are Christian. Nothing about Judaism has ever struck me as being off. And one of my favorite kind of philosophical traditions in the world is Jewish. It's called Tikkun Olam, which is the idea that the world that God broke the world apart, and it's up to each individual to kind of take a piece of the world and put it back together. Um, so I really love that idea of Tikkun Olam. I first learned about it in Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which is an incredible movie, and everybody should watch it. But then from there, I started researching it more, and actually, I think it's a Masonic idea. You could replace the idea of broke the world with God destroyed the temple into a million pieces, and it's up to each Mason to find a piece of stone and connect it with another piece of stone to rebuild the temple. Right? You could just as easily kind of make it that as a metaphor, and I think that'd be really cool as well. Sandberg is right. Somebody asked me if there's any great movies on Tubi because he knows how much I love Tubi. Uh, I will say I said I don't like comedies as a general rule, and I'm not, but there is this comedy called 21 and Over, which I actually think is pretty good and worth exploring. Um, so 21 and Over, that's here in Canada. Uh, Chasing Amy is on Tubi in Canada. That's one of those View Askew movies. Let's see what else we got. I'd go with those two first. They have House of Sorority Row, which is a wonderful movie, a great horror flick that doesn't get the love it deserved. Incident in a Ghostland is a great horror flick that didn't get the love it deserved at the time. House at the End of the Street is a scary movie I really like. So there's a bunch of stuff. I do not speak sign language. I wish I did. I want to learn it. One thing I've talked about on the stream in the past is the importance of Freemasons being able to communicate in different languages and thereby being welcoming of all different types of languages, including sign language and even knowing how to how to make signs or print things in Braille. So, for example, you can make sure a blind Mason has the same opportunities to enjoy Freemasonry. Well, I think Jordan, the oh my gosh, this is going to be hard to describe. I may talk about this tomorrow, because I don't know how well I could describe this. Um, I'm master of my Masonic Lodge, Carl. I think that so if we so I think everybody would agree that a supreme being, or God, but a supreme being is omnipotent by definition, right? And most people would define omnipotent as being all power, being able to do all things, right? So that would be omnipotent is, you know, you can do all things. I think that the term omnipotent, I would actually define it as being able to do all possible things. So, for example, I don't believe that God or the Supreme Being could create a triangle with four sides, or could create a square with five sides, or could travel faster than the speed of light, right? Because those things are not possible, right? But he can do all things that are possible. So he could travel up to the speed of light. He could create, you know, a million triangles with three, whatever it is. Like he could do things we can never do, but all within the realm of the possible, right? Um, Even with the wormhole, you're still traveling at the speed of light. You're just bending space. So when we go into this idea of like suffering, like why would God create a world in which things are broken and must be fixed? I suspect that it is no more possible to create a world without suffering than it is to create a triangle with four sides, right? It's like it's an impossible um, request. So if God or the Supreme Being wants to create the universe and wants to create a universe in which there is life, unfortunately, there's no way to create a universe with life unless there is some concept of suffering, as well as, you know, because otherwise, if you had no concept of suffering, you'd have no concept of happiness or comfort, right? Because you define happiness with an understanding of sadness. You define pain with the understanding of comfort. You define, you define something that tastes good based on understanding of what tastes bad. Like, try to imagine happiness if you had never known sadness, right? You wouldn't be able to. Everything would just kind of exist along this flat plane of neither happy nor sad, but rather enjoyable or not enjoyable, right? Nothing, because ultimately suffering and joy are just two ends of a spectrum. And even if you get rid of, the current end of the spectrum, like the worst forms of suffering, whatever is left will just become the worst forms of suffering. If I'm making any sense at all. I don't know if that makes sense or not. The point is, I sometimes think, in the Voltaire sense, this is the best of all possible worlds. And if we are lucky enough to exist, part of being lucky enough to exist means we have to accept that there will be a level of suffering that we cannot escape, no different than accepting that we'll never be able to draw a triangle with four sides. And I wonder if the Supreme Being is saddened by the fact that to create life, he must also give it the capacity to suffer, and it must suffer itself. I wonder if that makes the great architect sad in his own way, to know that in order to provide happiness, he must also provide sadness. Not to get too poetic. Yes, it does, and it will, Jordan. It will in 5 billion years. Let me see if I can get the actual date. In 1 billion years. No. In about 7.5 billion years, the sun will become a red giant, and engulf the earth. So, the earth will be incinerated in 7.5 billion years. Jordan, I hope that you will be so kind as to start working on this problem. You have 7.5 billion years to get humans off of this planet before the sun incinerates it. And before that, about 2 to 3 billion years, Earth's magnetic dynamo may fail, causing a loss of atmosphere. So you really have 2 to 3 billion years to sort this out. So Jordan, get on it, all right? Let me know what you've accomplished. I'll put the best Masons I know on this issue as well. We'll see if we can solve this particular problem. I don't know, Jordan. I mean, it could be a situation like Mother, the movie, where you have a god that is just creating new Earths, you know, every who knows how long it is. In the movie, it's like the whole thing takes about, what looks like about a year. Whether that's, literal time, who knows. But basically he keeps creating more and more Earths. Those Earths keep spawning more and more people who destroy it, and he has to start all over again. You're not wrong, pale blue dot. I would say even the universe is what we all have in common. Since I don't believe in aliens, I think we are alone in the universe. We should be respectful of that fact as well. I do not know what that means. I liked Mother a lot. I really enjoyed it. It's a very interesting film. If you're not prepared, it can be a lot, but it's really, really good. And I love the metaphor, the biblical metaphor behind it. I thought it was great. 11 votes. Will you join for the 24-hour live stream? 10 yes, 1 no. Thank you to the 10 who said yes. I very much appreciate it. I have not. What's it about? Luke. Welcome, Luke. Thank you for being here. Please take a moment to like and subscribe button. I hope you're doing well, Luke. I love Blade Runner. You know that Tears in Rain speech was improvised, which I thought was pretty incredible because it was so good. And Luke, yeah, please subscribe as well. Mother's like pretty intense. I just found this article, the heretical Gnosticism of Mother. A Gnosticism is connected somewhat to Freemasonry. Little did I know I'd be watching 2 hours of mystical allegory narrating the ancient pagan Kabbalistic myth of the divine feminine in terms of a domestic thriller. Jeez Louise. As someone who studied Kabbalah and literature for almost 3 decades. Thank you, Luke. Have you been on this stream before, or are you new? I don't know if I recognize you. But thank you for being here. I hope you'll join me for my 24-hour live stream coming up August 21st, starting at 2 p.m. I'll be going for a whole 24 hours, which is going to be an absolute blast. I'm going to be showing off a lot of my Masonic items, my Masonic pins, coins, tokens, flashlights, pens, aprons, a lot of really cool stuff. There's a couple, Brother Courtney. Well, thank you for being back here. Like I said, please join my live stream. Oh, my cat's playing. They're wonderful people. So does the demiurge, isn't demiurge, does that mean creator? A being responsible for the creation of the universe. I mean, yeah, he does, but you could argue he has no choice in the matter. If we want to exist, then part of that is to be imprisoned in, existence itself. We can't really separate ourselves from existence. It would be kind of fun to try. But I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like. I don't know how to exist outside of existence. I feel like that would be, by definition, a contradiction. I'm going to be showing off my regalia. Don't worry. I'm going to show it all off, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. And part of that is not just going to be showing the items. It's going to be talking about why it's important that we as Freemasons have these items in our lodges to give out to people, how we can display them, display ideas, how to protect them through things like insurance and storage, what to do in terms of will and testament, making sure that if you pass away, your Masonic items are sent where they need to be sent to. It's going to be a blast, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, buddy. Hey, Marco. Thank you for being here. There is nothing outside the all. Just how big is the all, right? That's the question. What is the all? That's the question, too. I still don't think we know that for sure. Wonderful. 13 votes for joining the August 21st, 2025 24-hour live stream. Yes at 92%, no at 8%. So 11 yeses and 12 yeses and 1 no. Awesome. I'm going to have to share this article. I might read this tomorrow. I've been doing this for about 5 years, but I only started streaming in the last about 6 months, at least regularly. Before that, it was mostly podcast episodes. But I am. Thank you. Get out of the tub, Jordan. Get out of the tub, but thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. So let me just, because I'm going to be ending this stream shortly, because I get my laundry out of the laundry, and I got to get to sleep because I got a bunch of stuff tomorrow. Let me take a moment to remind some people of what we got going on. So tomorrow, I guess today, technically, August 15th, at the Windsor Masonic Temple Coffee Club, I'm going to be, I'm going to be there, but Gene, a local artist, is going to be bringing some of his artistic works into the coffee club to show them off to the guys, which should be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that. So $2 for bottomless cup of coffee. Get to see some really cool artwork. If you're in town and you're Windsor, get in touch with me and I'll make sure you know how to get there. And please go through the front doors if you can. $2 for bottomless cup of coffee. Aside from that, get to see some really cool artwork. Then August 16th, I will be at the Windsor Hip Hop Festival from I'm going to be there from, starting at 11 when it starts. I'm going to have a table set up. From 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern, I will be live streaming from the Windsor Hip Hop Festival, showing off everybody and all of the, hip hop artists and all the stuff that they got going on, which I'm looking forward to very much. We should be supporting local artists. And if you are in Windsor, Atkinson Park, August 16th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'll be there 12 to 2, live streaming. And then after that, I'm going to be volunteering at a Masonic table. So check that out. August 20th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., I'll be streaming on Instagram. So please take a moment to join me therein. That's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to that a lot. I've never done an Insta live stream before, so we'll see how it goes. You can find me on Instagram. Just go Square and Compass Promotions. You'll find me. Then, August 21st, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, and going to August 22nd, 2 p.m. Eastern, we will be having a 24-hour live stream. Amongst other things, I'll be showing off my Masonic items and regalia and all that good jazz. It's going to be a blast. August 29th, I will be streaming my personal channel with Smokey. That's going to be a lot of fun. He's on Discord usually, but he's going to join me on YouTube. We're going to be streaming, hanging out, chatting. It's going to be a blast. That's August 29th on my personal channel. Beyond that, I did want to mention my friend Jordan. Um, Sorry, Jordan. I don't know why I said that. My friend Jeff Kavanaugh. He was recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He's going for treatments. Treatments are expensive. You need to take time from work. You need to travel. And he still has all his bills. So he has a GoFundMe. You can find a Jeff Kavanaugh Fights Cancer through GoFundMe. I put the links up on my social media channels. And you can support him on September 9th. $10 all-you-can-eat pasta. You just go through the doors. $10 cash, all-you-can-eat pasta. Kids under 4 eat free. He's a really good dude, and help him out if you can. If you can't make it to if you're not in Windsor, you can't make it to the, all-you-can-eat pasta, then by all means, maybe you can support him through his GoFundMe. Jordan's a great name. Jordan's a great name. Yes, I agree. He's on my list. I got to send him a message. I keep meaning to. Thank you for reminding me. I did want to mention again, I've mentioned this a bunch of times. Thank you to the Windsor Public Library. Got my library card renewed. It's a great library. It has a ton of history and archival information about the Windsor Masonic Temple and Windsor Freemasonry in general. Most local libraries are attached to historical societies and archival societies, and they usually have a ton of information about Freemasonry. Goodbye, Luke. Thank you for being here. And Carl, I'm a scatterbrain. And it's really worth getting to know your local librarian if you're a Freemason and you want to have access to that information. Thanks Shoppers Drug Mart for helping me get my vaccinations for my upcoming new travel. And I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. But and thank you Windsor Police Service for helping me with my criminal record check, which allows me to volunteer at some Masonic events coming up. So we've, I've had a lot of people help me out, and it's been wonderful. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow at 1 p.m. The Friday 1 p.m. streams are more, again, just general conversations as opposed to having specific topics. But I may actually explore this article, The Heretical Gnosticism of Mother. Don't do that, Carl. Never do that. That puts you at risk, and it puts the people on the road at risk. And I want you to still be around tomorrow. So don't risk your life in that way, or other people's lives as well. Courtney, though, thank you again so much for being here. I will talk to you guys soon. All right. And thank you again for joining my 1 a.m. live stream.